I'm back. Hello, everybody. Welcome to another 10 Forward Weekly. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Mikey Vatum, also known as Ambassador Kale, and what is that? I am, once again, your community manager. It is really great to be back, folks. I am really, really excited to be here, and really, really excited to get to hang out with you all again. I really miss doing this, and I really miss being a part of this community. So I am very, very happy to be back, and I am excited to see you all again. Even the guy that Scorp just banned. I wanted to quickly say before I get started, first things first, Counselor Suna is an incredible community manager, and she has left me gigantic shoes to fill, and I will be filling them as best I can. There's a lot of things that she did while I was gone that were absolutely brilliant that I will be continuing, and if there's things that she did that while I was gone that I don't know about, please remind me of them, and we'll start doing them. The other thing I was going to say is I know that there's a couple of people out there who are freaking out right now because we had some sort of interaction in the past. I would love it if this could be a clean slate between us. But you're not here for me. So let me take you to what you are actually here for. Enjoy.
In 2063, Zephyr Cochrane broke the light speed barrier, ushering in a new era of human history. It was an era of exploration, an era of conflict, but ultimately, an era of hope. As we celebrate over 250 years of the United Federation of Planets, the Aethan Prime Fleet Museum is proud to welcome 4 new starships to our Birth of the Federation exhibition. These 22nd century starships conquered the frontier, defended Earth, and established a new interstellar nation. They are the Vulcan Surak-class science destroyer, the Human NP-class escort, the Andorian Kumari-class battlecruiser, and the Human Envy-class multi-mission cruiser. Join us as we examine the legacy of each of these incredible machines and the part they played in the earliest days of Federation history.
And I forgot to give you guys the countdown I told you I would. Okay, and we're back. So that was a little bit of a teaser. There is a much longer trailer coming with all kinds of details on this ship, and you guys will see that next week. I've seen a brief look at it. It's really, really brilliant. Thomas and the team over at Arc Video and a bunch of other lovely people worked extremely hard on it, and it's going to be a bunch of great detail. But today, we're not here to show you the trailer. We're here to talk about some starships that are in the bundle. And so I am joined by Keen, or Pundus as you may know them. Say hi.
Hello.
And by Jamie, or Scorpion as you may know them.
Hey chat. Hi.
I love your VTubers so much. It's so good. We are also joined by Ramon. Say hi, Ramon.
Hello, everybody.
And, I guess we're joined by Thomas. I'm
Hey,
kidding. I love you, man. I'm sorry.
That's how I feel too. Don't worry about
it. No. All right. Well, folks, we're here to talk about what we just announced. It is the 16th anniversary bundle. It is themed around Enterprise. It's got 4 brilliant ships that we've shown you so far. And I want to talk a little bit about what the philosophy was, Thomas. Why this year for finally getting some more Enterprise content in the game? What was the choice for theme here?
Yeah, so there are a couple things going on. And I just want to do an audio check. Everybody okay? Hear me okay? Sound good? Yep.
Seems it.
I think we're good.
I can hear you. Yeah.
Okay, great.
Sorry,
Okay,
I thought you were
awesome.
asking chat, not me. Sorry, yes, I can
Well,
hear you.
yeah. I was also asking chat, so I was just sort
Okay.
of waiting. Okay, sorry for the delay, everybody. All right, let's get into it. So this year is the 60th anniversary of the Star Trek franchise as a whole, right? And so we're really leaning into that this year. We want to celebrate kind of the breadth of Star Trek, from the original series all the way up through Starfleet Academy. And so we're going to be hitting every era of Star Trek, as we go this year, in a lot of different ways. I think it's going to be really fun. And the one of the ways we're doing that is basically by doing releases of canon starships throughout the year in different ways. Some will be in lock boxes or promo packs or whatever, but also through our C-store bundles. And we're starting with our anniversary bundle at Star Trek Enterprise at kind of the excuse me, at the very beginning chronologically of the franchise, right? Enterprise is sort of the earliest show historically where things take place. And it was honestly a really good opportunity for us because there are these four ships, the Surak, we're calling it the NP. That's canonically, it never really got a name. Eaglemoss called it the Warp Delta, but we're calling it the NP class escort. And then there's the NV-01 Intrepid, and then the canon Kamari skin that we've also never put in the game before. So we wanted to finally kind of plug that hole, like fill in that gap for the Enterprise era ships that we had, and it also luckily happened to be Enterprise's 25th anniversary. So it's also a great way for us to celebrate the kind of the Enterprise era show. That was the Enterprise was sort of the last Star Trek show that was on broadcast television. It was definitely an end of an era, and had a lot of cool things about it going for it. So I'm happy to bring these ships to Stowe, and it was a joy to bring them to life, and I hope people are excited to get their hands on them.
So, what was the thought process? I know you said, sort of said, the reasoning for each of these ships, but what was the thought process for why we picked all four of these? And if you think somebody else should answer this, feel free to throw it to them. But
yeah, I'll throw that to Keen, because we talked a lot about, we have these meetings where we talk about what ships we're going to do, and when we looked at the ships from Enterprise that we didn't have, both Keen and Jamie are big Enterprise fans. So Keen, I'm gonna toss that one over to you.
I mean, for me, part of playing Star Trek Online is like the fantasy of living out Star Trek. So when it came to Enterprise era ships, the game itself was pretty lacking in terms of the canonical ships from Enterprise. We basically had the NX and the Dakir, and that was about it. So there were like pretty, I wouldn't say iconic, but pretty notable Starfleet ships that appeared. Like they were background ships, yes, but they were also the Starfleet ships of the time. So that's why ships like the NP and NV were, I would say, shoo-ins for the bundle. And, part of the whole theme of Enterprise is how Starfleet, how the Federation began. So having ships from the other factions that formed Starfleet, that is the Andorians and the Vulcans, it just made sense, I think.
heck yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Sorry, you were going to say something, Thomas, and I heck all over you.
Yeah, I mean, I think it was sort of a no-brainer in terms of we never had the canon Kamari in the game. We never added that to the game, right? And so that was, to me, that was where honestly I started and wanted to make sure, hey, we need to get this thing in the game to round out the Andorian ships we have. And then from there it was taking a look at, okay, well, what other Enterprise era ships don't we have? And yeah, so this is the list we settled on for this bundle.
Nice. All right. Well, I think it's probably time to let them stop foaming at the mouth and show off some of these starships. So let me switch over here. See if this is working now. Hooray! I have to show you all the icons I made for my stream deck for official STO streams. They're very fun.
Nice.
But we're going to start here by the Surak Intel Science Destroyer. Now, we're not talking stats today. That's going to be next week, so stay tuned for next week's stream. We'll be going through the stats of all of these ships, but we are going to talk about the art. And this one, the cannon ship. Let's see, the cannon ship was modeled by Tobias. So I'm going to let whoever wants to jump on and talk about the cannon ship go for it. And if nobody says, I'll assign somebody.
Well, I put in the game, so I think I can
There
go
you
for
go,
it
Bundes.
unless you
All right,
want
do
to,
it.
Thomas.
Yeah, go
All
for it.
right, so this is the canonical Sirocc class. It's from Star Trek Enterprise, of course, and it was designed by Doug Drexler. It is, based on, like, he designed it based on, like, the previous Vulcan ships we had seen, like the Taplana Hath and the T'Pau. And so it was modeled for the game by Tobias Richter, and I put it in the engine. So
Yeah,
it's yeah.
Yeah, sorry. There's a little pause there. I just wanted to break in. One of the things that was a big inspiration for Drexler was the ring ship Enterprise by Matt Jeffries, right? One of the early pieces of concept art for the Enterprise had a big ring like this, and I think Drexler took that as inspiration for the Vulcan ships too. So anyway, I'll pass it back to you.
Is
But I
that
just
sorry?
wanted
Is
to
that the
call that out.
TOS Enterprise that had the early concept?
Yeah,
early
yeah,
concept art? Oh, I've
yeah.
never seen that. I would
Mhm.
love to. Sorry, go ahead, Bundes.
So, one of the interesting things, speaking about Drexler and his design, is that when it was designed for Star Trek Enterprise, it was modeled in CGI by Drexler for, I think, the appearance of the Timur in Enterprise. And later on in, I think, season 2 or 3, it had a new model created by Pierre Drolet, which was an updated version of it. That version coincidentally happened to be one that Tobias had reference for, and so that's the version that we have in game. It's has the more brown color tones compared to the red, and it had more time spent on it because the hectics of TV production back in the day. So it was slightly more detailed, and that's the version we have in the game.
Okay, I'm hearing that my mic is too quiet, so I'm gonna try and turn that up. So what's the Pundus? This is the a cannon Vulcan ship. We've never had it in the game. What's the most exciting thing about this ship for you?
I would say just that it's a canon Vulcan ship that we haven't had before in the game. The Vulcans are one of the founding members of the Federation, and I think it's really cool that we finally have the Sirocc in the game.
That's awesome. All right. Well, y'all know it can't be a 16th anniversary bundle or any anniversary bundle if we don't have special skins for all of these ships. So now I'm going to pull up a piece of concept art that I was sent, and we can talk a little bit about the process of putting that together. Jamie, I think this is your concept art that I'm putting on screen here.
It is, yeah.
Yeah. So tell us a little bit about the skin and what it's called and what the design process was like.
So this was a weird ship. I think I want to start off just talking a bit about the design approach here. So what we wanted to do was we wanted to come up with a ship, an alien ship, and see what it looked like in Federation livery, and like see what an alien ship would look like in if it was a Starfleet ship, right? That was kind of the start of this. And so, we kind of hope that this is going to be something that, for captains that like to just fly Federation ships and wouldn't usually think about something like this, that, this is going to be for you, right? This is like, oh, you can play a Federation ship that is weird, but is still very clearly Federation.
Talk me through a little bit about the concept designs. You're seeing here. We're seeing a bunch of different shapes and things that you were working on. What was the thought process through that?
So when you go and zoom in on the top left,
yes, I can do that.
So the Sirocc has this really like sleek shape. It's very kind of nautical looking, right? If you just look at the silhouette. So I really wanted to lean into that. I had this really strong idea that what I wanted this to be was kind of feel a bit like a kind of cruise ship in space, right? Still kind of military, still kind of utilitarian, but also having those very strong streak lines that you see in ships and stuff. So yeah, we started off just kind of playing with what we wanted the silhouette to look like. and we kind of, we tried a few things that are a bit more bulky. We tried a few things that were a bit weird. One of the things that we kind of threw at the wall straight away was, what if this ship was sort of the same era as the Jellyfish from the Kelvin ships, right? So one of the things that Phil and Thomas were very keen on, Phil D is the art director who joined us from Decca. So one of the things they were very keen on is, what if we have this like kind of central spherical section that you see on the Jellyfish? And initially I was kind of like, no, I want my sleek ship. But one of the things that I think it was Thomas or Phil said was that ships like this need to be like kind of 15% weird. And yeah,
It's
so
it's not just ships like this. It's every ship. Every character design, every ship design, everything when you're making something that you want people to remember and love, they always have to. It's like the Mona Lisa smile, the tilting Tower of Pisa, Venus de Milo without her arms, right? Those are the things that give those like those classical historic pieces of art, that weirdness is what gives them their identity. So yeah, anyway.
If you want me to do a stream
Yeah.
with Thomas on art history and philosophy, let me know in the chat.
I'd watch it. So yeah, we kind of settled on doing something, yeah, like Thomas says, that was weird enough that it felt recognizable, but not too weird that no one's going to buy it, basically. So if you go down to the kind of bottom set of images, once we had the idea, I started blocking it out in 3D. And this is what we do for all of our ships. We do sketches, then we do quick, kind of block out 3D models. And these are just really quick to kind of get an idea of what it looks like in 3D space. And that's where we kind of settled on the idea of having these kind of very Art Deco swept back kind of Concorde style wings, which kind of really sort of brought the design together and made it feel like it kind of brought in those ties to like really classic sci-fi, right? Like one of the things that you referenced, Thomas, when we were working on it, is the Pan Am ship from 2001: Space Odyssey, and it just kind of brings in more of that really classic sci-fi feel, and that's something we try to do a lot working on Stowe. Is how do we make classic sci-fi feel modern? That's something we try and do on every ship that we make. So that was kind of our way of bringing it in here. And then, from that, we decided which one we liked and moved on to the final design, which was this. This was a pretty detailed ship to work on. I really wanted to have a load of little greebles and really functional looking stuff to kind of inform that, yes, it's a very sleek, very kind of yacht or kind of cruise ship looking thing, but it's got all of these little greebles on that kind of imply that it's still, a pseudo military vessel, right? It still has weapons, it still has, tech and sensors on board. And yeah, that's what we ended up with.
All right. Well, before I click this button to make this image go away and show you all the real ship in the game, I just want you to know, I can see Pundus' screen right now, and when they switched to this design in the ship tailor, you may have heard me audibly gasp, and I'll show you why right now. Holy crap, look at that thing. That's incredible. JB, this is so good.
Yeah. Well, I can only take half the credit of it because this was modeled by Ramon. If you want to take over and talk about the kind of bringing it to life and all that kind of stuff.
Please,
Okay.
please do.
Yeah, thank you. This is like a super cool ship. Like when I got the information that I was going to do this ship, I got super excited. I really like this type of alien ships that get like a Starfleet version. It's always like super fun to do, and you get to play with a lot of shapes that sometimes you can do in the usual Star Trek Starfleet ships. And yeah, it was awesome to make. Also, Jamie did amazing 3D files for the blogout, so it was a very nice start. And yeah, I think this design is super cool and it feels super sleek and cool and fast. And yeah, it's really cool. Also, one thing that I really enjoyed doing was like this set of windows that we have at the front of the ship. That kind of looks like a skyscraper.
Oh
That
yeah.
was pretty fun also. Yeah, we like we didn't know too much how to do them, so I ended up like just modeling them, and I think it looks really nice when you get the correct light like hitting it, and when you are flying around, it just looks like super cool.
It looks like such a like somebody in chat was saying it looks kind of like an ocean liner or something. It looks like such a luxury
Yeah.
ship at the same time as looking like
Yeah.
a freaking battle cruiser. So I know 3D modeling, and this is, you know, for either one of you guys who wants to jump on this. 3D modeling is very much all about, you know, putting blocks together, kind of like very tiny Legos. How is it
Yeah.
making a ship that's this like curved? Like there's so many, you know, there's the big ball, there's the sweeping front and back, there's the ring. What's that process like in 3D modeling?
Yeah, in this case, I have to say I took a lot of things from Jamie's model, and from that, what I saw from the original one is that most of these shapes are used from more like basic shapes, and for example, the sphere, and then from that you start subtracting with other shapes, and you get a lot of cool stuff with that. You can see, for example, the wings kind of have the curvature of the sphere that it's inside, but bigger. And with that, you can get, you know, with booleans and all of that, you can get a lot of cool shapes. And then from
Yeah,
that,
so
you start polishing and getting more details and all of that.
so for the non-artists in the, you know, in the audience, when Ramon talks about booleans, what he's talking
Yeah.
about is how two shapes intersect. So booleans, basically you take like a cube and another cube or a sphere, and the computer can like plot the kind of coordinates of like where the cube intersects with the sphere, and then you can run a bunch of operations. Like
Yep.
you can do an additive boolean where the sphere and the cube become one big shape, or you can do a subtractive boolean where you take a sphere shaped chunk out of the cube, or you can do an intersection boolean where you only have the shape left over of where the cube and the sphere intersect. And so that's where you get some of the kind of the interesting like cutout shapes in this ship. Is you would have, you know, you would take the a sphere and sort of like use that to subtract from the big kind of fuselage of the ship, and as an example, and then you would get kind of that sort of trim work that you could slot another sphere into to get that really nice perfect circular line. So yeah, it's a really important part of the 3D modeler's toolbox for sure.
It's
Yeah. And it also helps a lot. Yeah.
it's
Uh,
absolutely beautiful. You both did a fantastic job on this ship, and I can't wait to get my hands on it next week when it goes live on PC. Somebody in chat was asking about what time. So, oh right, great. The doctor's in chat. The
Yeah.
medical emergency is that this ship is too cool, and I had several aneurysms.
We I do want to talk a bit about some of the extra. There's an extra visual variant for this that I'm actually really excited about, that I asked
Sweet.
I think Keen, you made it, right?
I think Ramon did
mean,
it, but I taught
yeah.
him how to.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, for this ship and also for the Kumari, since they have Federation versions of it, we thought of making also another template inside
Oh
of the
my
costume.
god.
Yeah, this one, where you get kind of a more Vulcan feel, but with the same shapes as on the Federation one. And yeah, for example, this one doesn't have decals and other Federation liveries, and it's super cool, and this material looks great on it.
Yeah, I didn't want anybody to complain about having a 25th century Vulcan ship, but having to use Starfleet graphics on it, right? So we wanted to make sure that that if you really like the look of this, but you wanted to role play as like a pure Vulcan character and a pure Vulcan ship, that you had that option. So this is the non-Federation, or sorry, the non-Starfleet version of the ship, and I think it turned out really cool as well.
Somebody was saying it looks
Definitely.
like a Ferrari. Yeah, absolutely, but cooler. I love it
and
in the Vulcan red. That's so good.
Yeah, and we have a couple different Vulcan materials, right, that people can
Yeah.
select from.
Yep.
Yeah, and all the Federation
Mhm.
ones. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow. That's gorgeous. Well, speaking of different materials, we're going to switch to talking about the next ship in the line, next ship of the line, which is going to be the NP Miracle Worker Light Export. But while we're switching ships, I'm just going to pull up. Pundus was nice enough to send me a very nice high-res image of what this ship will look like in all the different vanity shields. And so I am just going to scroll through that quickly so you all can get a close-up look. And oh my god, the Cation Claws looks really good on this.
Yeah. Can I
Nice.
say one last thing about the
Please.
this ship? Yeah. This is kind of an Easter egg, something like that. Is that for the Zurok class, depending on what template you use on the tailor, you can change the color of the trails. So the normal color is red and blue, but if you pick the Vulcan version of the Sonak, you will get all blue trails. So if you use like some material that only has like blue lights, that will look better. And yeah, I will talk later about it with the Kumari, but it's happening the same.
Heck yeah. Oh man.
I want to. Oh, Thomas, you go.
Yeah. Well, I just wanted to state really, eagle-eared viewers might have noticed. I don't know if we actually said the name of that variant. We're calling it the Sonak, the visual variant.
Yeah.
That's named after the Vulcan that died on the Enterprise in Star Trek: The Motion Picture.
Oh,
So just a little bit of trivia for people.
that's dope. Love it.
That's cool. I
alright.
didn't know that.
Mhm.
I'll also say one last thing about the ship, like Ramon did. So I did 3 of the skins, 2 of which are still upcoming. Each of them has something a little bit special to me. So the thing that's special to me about this one is that before I got hired to work on Stowe, I was designing Star Trek inspired ships for doing private commissions. And this is actually one that I was just working on privately. I already had an idea for like, what if a Vulcan ship, but like Starfleet in the far future. So it was really fun getting to revisit that after 2 or so years of doing it professionally and doing it for Stowe. So yeah, it's just a really cool opportunity for me on this one.
Everybody
Awesome.
starts doing fan work and then starts doing their fan work professionally. It's
Mhm.
great.
Yeah.
Well, it's not an accident that happens, right? Because
Yeah.
to be good at anything and to be hired at something, you have to be good, right? And so to get good, you have to do it. And so, like, anybody who wants to kind of work in a field they're passionate about, you kind of have to do it for free for a while to get to the point where you're skilled enough that people will hire you.
But
yeah,
on that
that's
subject, don't let
that-
people take advantage of you and work you.
No,
to
no,
the bone
no.
for
It's not.
free.
It's not.
It's a
Yeah,
little.
yeah.
It's
You're
a
not.
little
You're not
column,
doing
little
work for
column.
other people. Right. You're not doing work for other people for free. You're doing work for yourself. Right.
Yes.
Like you're doing the work that you want to do for yourself. But anyway.
I mean, in saying that, that's how you kind of got into Cryptic as well, right? You were doing the UI art for fun, I think, for the old
Well, I got
STO
paid.
film.
I mean, like when they so I pitched some stuff, yeah, but then when they put it in the game, they actually did pay me.
Yeah.
so there's that at least.
All right, Pundus, was this another intake of yours, or did somebody else do this one? I know
Yep.
this is another Tobias model. All right,
This is another Tobias Richter model. Originally designed by John Eves for Star Trek Enterprise. This was intended to be one of the earlier Starfleet ships that wasn't quite Warp 5, and it appeared, I think, in the season 2 finale, rescuing the Enterprise from the Klingons.
I think I saw a documentary about that recently.
This was based on the ship that appears in the intro of Enterprise, just jazzed up a bit with more modern technology. That was how the design was both rationalized in universe and concepted by John Eves. This was, as I said, modeled by Tobias Richter, and I put it in the game.
From the back, it looks absolutely, like from the front it looks
yeah.
good, but from the back it looks absolutely gorgeous. Oh my god!
Yeah, I really like how all this the greebles.
Yeah.
Yep.
Excellent, excellent greebling. all around.
Yeah,
You're-
so we're calling this the NP and NP class just really for conceptual symmetry with the NX and later the NV. And so if you look this up in sort of what Memory Alpha, I think it's called the Warp Delta. And then Eaglemoss used that name as well. And then I believe that other places you might, like the Modiphius Utopia Planitia book, you might see it called the Ganges. And so there's a lot of back and forth about what to call this stuff, at least in my head. But I really, since we already had the NX in the game and it was already called NX Escort, refit or whatever, I wanted those ships of that era to all hang together in a naming convention. So that's why we decided not to use Ganges for this or Intrepid for the other ship. We just wanted to stick to those N blank names.
And so I'm guessing there is some sort of deep historical military tradition that inspired, the P and the V in this lineup of names.
Well, so NP isn't canon. I
Right.
saw. I
No,
think
I'm asking you
I think
because you came up with it.
right. Well, I didn't. So I saw some artwork of this ship that used the NP registry. I was like, oh, that's good as anything else. So for that, NV on the Intrepid, that is canon.
Oh, okay.
That you do see that on the, as far as I remember, right, Keen? Like NV 01 is on the Intrepid.
In
Canonically.
beta canon, in canon, they didn't put a registry on it when it appeared in the episode
Oh,
Twilight.
okay.
It was just blank. But yeah,
Uh-huh.
it's apocryphal, but commonly accepted that NV is the registry.
All right. Yeah. So I mean, I sort of see it as a NP could stand for patrol. So like
okay.
patrol, and then V could be, I don't know, something else. I'll have to think about that one to retcon it. But
this ship was
yeah.
was named because it was no problem. All right. So Pundus, you got to get your hands the most on the ample nacelles of this model. Is there anything cool or surprising or interesting that you want to show us on her?
One thing about the NP is that we have an additional customization option where it removes the name and registry on the hull and on the nacelle of the ship. So it matches the on-screen appearance, which had no name or registry. But in addition to that, there is also an alternatives costume skin available for this ship that we are probably going to talk about in a bit.
Do we want to jump on that now? Is that the one that's called Interceptor demo board, I assume?
Nope.
No.
NV concept?
No, it should be Ortiz. I'm not sure. Actually,
Oh.
it might be called Warp Delta or something. It was.
Hold on. Let me look at what I've got because I don't have one named that, but let me see what I've got. One sec.
It looks like Ramon uploaded it. It looks like it's
Oh, I see. I think I just named it the wrong thing. Yeah, that's it, right?
Yeah, that's it.
Okay. Yeah. I just said V instead of P.
All right. Yeah, I'll talk about this ship. So this was the last ship that Hector did for us before he left. And I've said it before, I'll say it again. I really miss Hector. I really miss working with him. He's an incredible artist, and he really helped define STO's ship style over the years. So so this ship is this is in the kind of bonus skin variant for the NP. I decided to name it after Hector, so we're calling this skin the Ortiz.
Hell yeah. That's great.
And the concept here is really pretty simple. It's make translate that ship design to the Sovereign era, basically, kind of the Nemesis era. And as far as that choice, it just sort of seemed to fit the aesthetic. Like the Sovereign has this really great like arrowhead shape on it. And I when we were already doing the 25th century skins for two of the other ships in the bundle, and so wanted to change it up a bit, and for this ship, and then the next ship we're gonna, or the another alternate skin we'll look at later. And so I, instead of doing another Stowe era skin, I thought it'd be really cool to try a different sort of a slightly different aesthetic and landed on the Sovereign. I think it's a really, it's a beloved aesthetic. I love fleshing out
Mhm.
the different eras of Star Trek, in giving each era a little bit more, a little bit like a bit bigger family, right? Like the idea is like you could put this ship next to the Sovereign class, and it's like, oh yeah, this is clearly a younger sibling, right, of the Sovereign. And that was really the goal for this design. You can see the nacelles are very clearly Sovereign inspired. You've got the classic triangle escape pods, the little bridge. The role, I imagine it very similar. This is like a Coast Guard cutter. This is a patrol ship, that is escorting freighters. It's looking around Federation space, guarding trade routes, doing kind of orbital support supply missions, orbital safety, rescue, natural disaster stuff in system. It's a fast response ship. And that's that kind of ship is really important for any civilization. You need people who can be on the scene really quickly, who are fast and maneuverable, able, first responders basically, and also able to protect shipping. Like commerce is a really important part of an interstellar civilization, and so you would have commerce protection ships that are really designed to make sure that nobody steals the lithium or antimatter or whatever, all the super valuable stuff that gets carted around the galaxy. So that was the concept behind this ship. And I see the NP as the super early version of that, right? And so this is just kind of inheriting that role.
Well, let's take a look at it in game. Wapow! Oh my god, I love this
Yep.
too so much. Holy crap. So again, this is a Tobias Richter model. Pundus is taking us around it. Somebody was saying this looks like the like a ship that would dock with a Sovereign class. I honestly want to see a Sovereign class and like 6 of these flying around. That
Yeah.
would be so
Yeah.
cool. This is exactly my aesthetic, as many people know, but this is really, really pretty. Oh, it's got a shuttle bay on it. How big is this ship? Because in
I mean, it's small.
yeah.
Yeah, 100 odd meters, 100 and something, I think.
Okay.
So it's
Very
a
cool.
little smaller than the hull is a little smaller than the Defiant, but you can still stick you could probably are gonna need a shuttlecraft or a shuttle pod or something to do the kind of duties this thing would be expected to do.
Yeah. Jeremy mentioned this in chat, but I didn't, so just in case, this is a Miracle Worker Light Escort, or as Jeremy described it in chat, basically a Federation Raider. So again, we'll learn more about stats and stuff next week, but I just wanted to make sure you guys all knew that. And so has it got a giant engine on the back in addition to the Norton warp cells, or the nacelles? Oh no, that's like a heat sink kind of thing. Okay, cool.
Yeah. And, standard impulse engines and such.
Very nice. Thomas, I
think
oh, go ahead.
I think one of the things I might be misremembering here, but I think one of the things that Hector said when he was designing this is that he liked the idea that this like back section with the grill and the crystal thing. The idea is that could be like removable and like modular, so you could like literally slot it out, pull out the warp core, put a new one in. I think I remember that. I might be misremembering, but yeah.
Yeah, it's cool. It's a very like Enterprise era idea too, right? Because that's one of the things that Doug Drexler, why the warp core like section is kind of isolated from the rest of the ship, and or that symmetrical warp field governor thing, right? It's meant to be very easy to kind of repair and access.
That's awesome. I was giggling internally, Thomas, when you were talking about the role that this ship was playing, because Thomas and I have both been listening to an audio drama by Space Dock friends of the game called The Sojourn, and 90% of that show is just applying modern military, roles and stuff to starships, and scratches a very good itch, just like that.
Yeah,
just
it's Yeah, yeah, it's phenomenal. By the way, go check out the Sojourn. They have a YouTube channel. They're also on Nebula, the Nebula
Yep.
streaming platform. I think they're on Spotify and all that stuff. It's
They are.
basically Master and Commander meets The Expanse.
But with like more of an
and,
SG1 kind of tone, I would say.
Right.
It's
Yeah.
it's very, very good.
It's good. And Scorp actually did a model for them too.
Oh, which one?
I did.
Yeah.
I did the Alessia class
Nice.
a couple of years ago now. You've worked in too as well, Thomas. So you did some of the like background environment art, if I remember right.
Well, I did a dry dock.
Oh,
I
yeah,
did a
yeah,
dry
yeah.
dock model for them.
Nice.
So yeah. Anyway, good
We
stuff.
shouldn't go too off on Sojourn, even though it is my current hyper focus. So everyone go listen to Sojourn, and then we'll just put one of their ships in the game so I can talk about it on stream. There we go. All right, but there's a special. There's some special stuff you're going to show us here in the ship Taylor. Pundus?
Nothing particularly special. It has all of the standard customization options that a Federation ship has, well, should have. And like I said, it has no registry versions of the nacelles in the hull.
Nice.
But yeah, of course, as usual, this is all kit bashable.
I was going to say, hit
Yep.
random a few times, but you're already doing it. Good job. Oh, there's some cool designs there. Theron, this is not a 2409 Warp Delta because it's Sovereign Era, so that is what, 2390 something, 2401?
2370, yeah, 2376 or something like that for I don't know when first contact was. It might be 2373.
Chat is telling us a
2374.
range between the 2370s and 2380s. I believe.
Yep. Yeah, that's right.
Good job, nerds. I'm glad you're here.
Uh-huh.
I love that tiny cockpit too. I'm gonna have to, when I fly this ship, I'm gonna have to find a suitably small cockpit interior to, cram in there, make it feel like a submarine. All right.
Yeah, I mean, keep in mind, the scale is always fun with Star Trek ships because it's like we think, oh, this is such a small ship. It's only 100 meters long. That's still like 300 feet. Like that thing is, you like, put that. That's a whole football field basically you're looking at here.
Yeah.
But yeah.
It's very small, but it's very big, but it's also very small. This is actually, I don't know if you knew this, Thomas. Canonically, this is a single man fighter for just me. Just so you know.
Okay.
That is not true.
Good to know.
In chat, if anybody takes that true, making things up again, Kale. All right. Brilliant, absolutely brilliant. Is there anything else you want us to know about this guy? Art-wise, anybody want to jump in before we move on to our next one?
No, I think we're good.
All right, I'm going to pull up the Vanity Shield art so you guys can take a look at that. Just a moment. Oh, right. Pundus, you're so organized. You sent me this in, like a bunch of different folders and stuff. My God. I have to now look through your organization. Ugh. That's a comfortable silence while I'm doing this, right? That's not awkward at all.
Yep.
Okay.
No, I'm just we got a great crowd in chat. It's a pretty big stream today. That's really exciting.
Yeah.
Thanks everybody for showing up. We're really pumped to
there's
share this stuff with you
600
guys.
of you. Wow.
Holy crap. Wow.
I shouldn't be allowed to speak in front of 600 people.
That might be a record, actually. At least I don't know.
Really?
I don't know.
Wow.
I remember our highest being 500. But that's awesome. Welcome everybody. I am so glad that my first day back is when all of you are here. Well, my second day back, my first stream back. With the Vulcan Logicians Vanity Shield, the ship looks very much like an old He-Man toy that I can't remember the name of. But if anybody had that growing up, it was the like flying sled that He-Man had. Very similar shapes.
I think I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Also, I have to shout out to Katrina, my fiance, in chat.
Shout out to Katrina. I'm learning how to sew for their wedding. And by learning how to sew, I mean sitting here and thinking about learning how to sew. Ship of the Dead skin on this gives it a very interesting alien look. I'm trying to go through this fairly quickly, but I want you guys to be able to see. And then, of course, the Andorian blue version of this ship is hooked on feeling. And it's getting tired of believing.
Right. Yeah, it's very much Milano from.
Yeah. Oh, man. I'm going to have to print all of these ships and put them on my wall of ships, Thomas. You did this to me. All of you did this to me.
You don't have to print them, man. We sent you these ships for the trailer.
Oh, that's
You
right. I have.
them.
Well, yeah, but not your versions. I'm gonna have to print the new versions of them all. I have. Yeah. So for those of you who didn't know or who weren't watching my personal stream, for about a month I've been jokingly saying that the anniversary bundle is sitting on my kitchen table, and that's because the anniversary bundle was sitting on my kitchen table for reasons that will become more clear when you see the full trailer next week. But yeah.
Yeah, and I'll vamp on that a little bit. We're calling it a trailer. It is just a full-fledged documentary.
Yeah.
Like it's 15
Mm.
minutes long. It is in universe, as if Ken Burns did a documentary about these ships. So I'm really pumped about it. I can't wait for you guys to see more. We all worked really hard on it, and I'm very, very proud of it.
And
Yeah.
what you're seeing is the short version. Thomas has
Mhm.
plans.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Well, here we are with the Kumari Pilot Light Battle Cruiser. I don't know that I've heard. It probably has happened before because we have every kind of ship in this game, but I don't know that I've heard the words pilot and battle cruiser before. That makes me very excited. So this ship was once again modeled by Tobias Richter. So Pundus, tell us about the process of importing this ship. And
Well,
what
actually, Ramon worked on this one.
Ramon,
Yeah.
tell us about this ship.
Yeah, but Kini, if you want to talk about any info on the lore or anything like that, you're free to
Oh yeah. This was designed by John Eaves for Star Trek Enterprise, and it is, I think, our first look at an Andorian ship in canon. So yeah, I don't have much info beyond that off the top of my head.
Yeah, no problem. And yeah, for the ship and the model, as you said, it was modeled by Tobias, and yeah, it turned out great. Like I really like this ship. All the details that it has, like at the front of, I don't know what should we call it, but the saucer or something like that, but it looks great. And also he did this material that is new and it's coming to the game, and then I work on making it ready for the engine working and all of that. And one of the things that was like very important, it's like all of these little details in geometry that Tobias made, is that they look like very cool when the material hits the light like correctly. And yeah, I'm really happy how it turned out.
You can't just fly through the ship, Pundits. Oh God! All those people. Oh my God! I love. We're talking
one of
about
the things I want to
Greeblies.
say.
love the Greebling on this. Sorry, go ahead, Thomas.
Yeah. One of the things I wanted to make especially clear, this does customize with the other Andorian escorts. This is on the same. This is on the same skeleton. So if you have the other Andorian escorts and you get this ship, you'll be able to use those pieces, those materials on this ship, and vice versa.
Hell yeah!
To kind of add a little bit on that, we are also. I've been watching the few bug report threads of the cannons not working on the Kumari. That should be fixed as of today's patch.
I think it was fixed today.
Yeah. So that should work again for these.
Did y'all break it by making a new ship?
Kind of. It was semi broken. Then we fixed it, and then half the fix got released. So since it was half the fix, it kind of broke everything, and then now everything is fixed.
Nice, very nice. All right, I'm going to put one of you on the spot. Obviously, this thing still has the warp nacelles on the side and the standard impulse engines. So, Star Trek lore, what is the big engine-looking thing on the back? If there isn't a canon answer, you must make one up.
I think going by my many years of Star Trek and spaceship design experience, I think it's an engine, actually.
But what kind of engine, Scorp? What does
I
it
don't know,
do?
you make it up.
Well, I mean, one of the things I think you can, it actually doesn't have to be an engine, right? It could be a radiator.
Yeah.
Uh,
Although it's got warp
it
trails
could be,
coming
I
out
mean,
of
it could
now,
be an
so-
engine. It could be yeah, like, there's a lot of different things you can do, especially with a ship like this, small, powerful. We're calling it a battle cruiser, and we'll talk more about that next week. I don't think I'll be on the stream. I'm not planning on being in the stream next week because it's although I might get on for if we do the whole trailer next week, we'll see. But
Yeah, you'll
but
probably want to be on for that, yeah.
yeah, but in terms of it being a battle cruiser, that was something I begged Jeremy to do because canonically it is. I think they call it the Kamari
Yep.
class battle cruiser, right? And so we wanted to make sure the rest of the Andorian ships are escorts, and wanted to make sure that we had one Andorian ship in the game, and it was this one with this skin that was called a battle cruiser because that that is what it was at the time, it canonically. So I just wanted to throw that out there. You'll learn more about what that means with Jeremy and the systems crew next week.
One of the things that I'm learning from listening to Sojourn, not that we're making this stream about Sojourn. Has anyone heard of Sojourn? Anyway, is that Navy ship class names? There's 10 billion of them, and none of them make any sense.
Yep. Yeah. It's not super consistent.
No.
And different navies have different like qualifications for what
Yeah.
what is a frigate, what is a battle cruiser, what is a heavy cruiser, right? And things that sound cool like heavy cruiser versus cruiser, and a lot of those things when you learn why they exist, you're like, oh, this was just basically to circumvent an arms treaty. So it's like you can only build so many ships with guns this size. And so okay, well, we're gonna build a ship with a gun like a half-inch smaller or something, and we'll call that a light cruiser. And it's like the same, It's like, yeah.
I'm sure there's a bunch of them too that are like named super much better cruiser just because some admiral wanted that.
Right.
That's kind of it's not that's not too far off why we have ships that are in fiction called like dreadnoughts, right? Like
Right.
Dreadnought isn't an actual real ship class, but there was one ship called Dreadnought that was really cool, and now sci-fi has a bunch of ships that are called dreadnoughts.
Yep, exactly.
Incredible. Someone says Juggernaut without the array is called a tiny cruiser. Yeah, that makes sense. All right, well, let's take a look at the concept art here for the other skin of this. This is another Hector Ortiz original. If I had my way, I would fill my entire wall with Hector Ortiz original ship concept art because my God, look at this. But Thomas, do you want to talk to us a little bit about Hector's designs since you knew it well?
Yeah. So I mean, the briefing was pretty similar to what we gave Jamie in terms of let's see what a 25th century Andorian ship that has been commissioned in Starfleet, what does that look like? And so this is an upgraded take on it. We're calling that Talus. That's the name of this visual variant. That's named after the Andorian, I believe it was Shran's, I think it was actually his mate. But
it was
she
actually
died.
named after the first ship to circumnavigate the Andorian globe. I don't know if you
well,
watched.
That's the Kamari.
Oh, that's the Kamari. Oh, sorry, my bad.
Yeah. So this variant is calling the Talus named after her. She died during kind of the chain of events that eventually led to the Romulan War and the United Federation of Planets. But she was an Andorian who sacrificed. So it's just like the Sonak. It's named after a member of that species. But as far as the ship, it's 100% Hector. It's super sleek. It carries that Andorian language, but you can see the Starfleet cues start to seep in a little bit. You've got the decals, you've got the escape pods and the phasers. You'll see all of that in when we switch over to the actual in-game art. But yeah, there's a bit of kind of the sleek like Kalian, I think, in this that Hector also designed. Like the deflector reminds me a lot of the Kalian, which was the Intel Vesta that we did a while back. And yeah, I'm just yeah. Let's go ahead and flip over to the in-game ship.
Heck yeah. Here it
Ta-da.
is. So, Ramon, this is your work. Tell us about this
Yeah.
absolute beauty you've got here.
Yeah, it was very exciting to make this ship. I remember I started working on this one before the Sonac. So for the people that remember me from other teams, I usually work on alien ships. So it was very cool to work on a Federation looking ship. And I started getting used to more of the Starfleet liveries and all of that. Yeah, it was very fun to do. I really like the shape in general. It feels like super fast and cool. I really love like the mission pods, and it just like super cool. And also one thing that I really like about not only this ship but this class in general is that you have like a lot of customization options, because this ship has like a lot of parts, and also there are a lot of variants. So you really can get buys and get a lot of cool stuff. And yeah, it was very fun to do. Also, do you want Kim to show the Taylor?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's do that.
Let's dive
Yeah.
on in. Hey, Alex. Been a
Yeah.
while.
Yeah, it has a lot of variations.
Oof.
For this one, we also created an Andorian version for this Tala ship, which is
Oh,
this one.
yes.
Yeah, yeah, it looks really nice. This is the material from the Kumari prototype. And also the cool thing about these new ships is that if you get them and you get the bundle, you will get also a lot of new materials that are from Federation. So you will have a lot of things to change and get bash. And yeah,
Oof.
it's really cool. You can change it 1,000 different ways. There's one thing I really like on the advanced options, that for example, like the mission pods are kind of related to the aft hull. So you can choose whatever mission pod you want, and if you change the aft hull, you can change the location of it. So you can get a lot of cool stuff. You can get some mission pods like connected to the station and all of that. And yeah, there's a lot of stuff that you can do. Also, you can do a lot of weird stuff, but yeah. And
Raise your
yeah,
hand if you're going to
another
spend an hour and a half in the Taylor playing with this when you get
yeah, yeah, yeah. And if you find anything that's broken, let me know, because like there's a lot of things to
Yeah.
work. Yeah, but another thing about this one is that, as I mentioned on the Sonak and Surok, that you can change the trails. If you go and select the Talas template, you will get all blue trails. We did that way to follow the concept art from Hector, where there's only 2 trails, but really there's like 4 trails, but 2 on top of each other, you know? So with that, I found something very cool that maybe players like, that if you get any template from here, apart from the Talas, you will get the normal trails, which are red and blue. But if you change the aft hull for the Talas version, yeah, you will get these red and blue trails, but since they are on top of each other, they will combine and you will get a pink trail or purple. So it's really cool in this case.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
pretty.
Yeah.
That's cool.
I like that a lot.
Yeah.
That's fun.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, if you get very close and you are kind of tilting or something, you can kind of see like the combination of both colors.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, but I always thought this was very cool, and I hope people like it.
Mhm.
I
Yeah, no, that's
love
awesome.
That is very, very cool. Yeah, just go hit random like 3 more times, Pundus, because that was
Yep,
that
of
was
course.
dope as hell. Just looking through all that. Oh, wait, stop! Oh my
Oh.
god!
I got,
Hey,
yeah,
what's
you show-
this?
Hey, what's that on the
Yeah.
front? I have no idea.
Show,
I've
show
never
the
heard of that
actual.
before.
Show the actual.
Let's have a look.
Template.
Oh my god, I love it.
So
Do you
this
wanna explain what
Slocking
this is?
Nocris template. You'll learn more about that next week.
I was gonna say,
Yeah.
yeah, we're teasing this, but we're not telling you anymore until next week. So enjoy the beautiful
Ooh.
tease. I am gonna be putting that on a lot of ships. On a lot of versions of this ship. It's so pretty. All right. Well, this is gorgeous. Let's take a look at some vanity shields while we get set up for our final ship today, maybe, which is the NV Multi-Mission Temporal Cruiser. All right, and we can take a look at the Chiral ship in the vanity shields here. And so far, I'm learning.
Right. This is the one of the old.
Yeah, that's
the
the
existing
old
ships.
Kumari. You're looking for the Kumari prototype.
Oh, okay. Hold on. My bad.
That's
The old
the
Kumari.
Chiral, which is one of the T5 Kumaris that you can customize with. Oh, hey, that's the.
It's fine. They know it's gonna be in the bundle, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, they've already
It's
seen
fine.
it. It's not that big of a deal. I was just sort of covering you. Let's see.
The old T5 Kimari. I can't remember which one it was, but that was the first one of those. Was the first ships I ever like properly bought in game.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah,
Nice.
Sorry,
love the
Pundus,
Kimari ship.
you gave
Love
me
the Andorian ships.
you gave me all the Andorian ships in one folder. Which one is this called?
Sorry, Kumari prototype or prototype Kumari. I forgot which way around
Kumari
I named
prototype,
it.
got it.
Yeah.
Okay, here we go. What I was gonna say about the other ship, and it is still true here, is that I'm learning that every vanity shield looks good on this ship. The DS Niders gives me a big homeworld vibe. All right, we'll go through this one quickly since the next ship is already up. Even though this is the ship I think I want to spend the most time on.
I want to throw in a thing here as well, which is one of the things I said earlier when we were looking at the Sirocc is when we're doing these like kind of old alien fed skins for ships. I'm really curious to see, how much people like these, because I really want to do more of them. B, if people like them and are on board with it, even though it's a bit weird, potentially it opens the door for us doing more like Klingon Romulan ships, because I think it'd be awesome to do Federation Bird of Prey, for example, right?
Yes,
and,
please.
We hear people want more Klingon Romulan ships, and if we can do that in a way that makes both sides of the coin happy, if we can do it and make Federation captains happy and people that want Klingon Romulans, then I see no reason we shouldn't do that. But we'll it kind of depends on if people like this and if there's an opportunity for us to do it in future. But that's I'm keeping my ear to the ground, and I'm hoping that people like what we're doing with these.
And I will
Yeah,
report back to you on that too.
This is something that actually when I started on Stowe, even when I was a UI artist, I sort of fantasized about when we started adding a lot more alien ships to the game, was like, oh, could every ship have like a Starfleet and Klingon livery, like just out of the box, so that you could have the alien Ferengi Marauder, or the alien, the Jem'Hadar attack fighter, but then also get a version that used the Starfleet material but had registry name, registry number, pennants, Starfleet pennants, and all that stuff. And it's something I've always sort of like kept in the back of my head, like it'd be really cool to do that. It's just, it obviously adds time to those ships that right now we don't really necessarily have or need to spend on them, because it is like, I mean, Keen set it up, right? Like it is a it's a whole other thing that we have to do, an extra layer of work to add. You don't get that for free. You have to manually make those decals, and you have to make all the registry names and numbers work and all that stuff. So it does add time, but it would be cool to do more of this, if we can find that time.
Thomas, I don't know how to tell you this, but nobody can tell you no anymore. No, they absolutely can.
How do you think?
They absolutely can.
There is one person that can tell me no.
Oh, thank you for
And,
that power,
yeah.
Thomas. I appreciate it. All right, so this is now our NV, and this is a NV multi-mission temporal cruiser. And Pundus, you didn't let Tobias have this one. You stole this from him. So you're gonna have to tell us about
Well,
it.
The Envy, the Intrepid, is probably my favorite of the Enterprise era ships, and I was fortunate that Thomas and Phil knew I liked it and let me have a go at it. And honestly, it's some of the proudest work that I've done. So, as with the Warp Delta and P, this was designed by John Eves and intended to be an earlier pre-Warp 5, Warp 2 era-ish Starfleet vessel. So the CGI model in Star Trek Enterprise was made by Pierre Drolet, and he sort of kitbashed it out of NX parts. But in this case, I decided to have a go at modeling it all myself to get, yeah. And as like a canon ship, this was a really fun task, and it's sort of, I would say, zen or relaxing because there's a lot of reference easily available for it, like on sites, like on fan sites like Portal Realms Archive, like they have all of a bunch of like screenshots of the CG model, references from Eagle Moss, all of that sort of thing, and it makes my job bringing it to life in the game really easy and honestly fun, trying to get it close or exact canon as I can.
Ship artists
Also,
sit
this
down
is,
playing their
um,
own
It really turned out
contributions
great,
to be a
man.
more iconic combination.
Also, this is a. I think you and me, Pundus, we both
Yeah.
made 3D versions of the ship before we came to work on Stowe, right?
Sort of, yeah.
Yeah, I modeled this like a few years ago for a commission before I got to work on Stowe. So yeah, this one is very cool to see in game for me as well.
That is.
Yeah, and this was such a satisfying task because like Thomas and Phil just let me have a go at it for like a couple of weeks, and when I came back, I only had one note from Thomas, and that was because I messed up the windows on the saucer room, and it's really nice to get an almost no notes in a task.
That's how you know you did
No,
it.
you did
Yeah.
a great job on it.
If you
Yeah,
get
thank you.
if you don't
Yep.
get any notes, you've done something wrong. But if you get just the one, then you know
Yeah.
you did it right. All right, so Pundus, Jamie, this is you guys' baby ship. What are the fins for? What do the fins do? I want to know.
Cool.
So,
Uh,
I mean, you can, if we can assume there are maneuvering thrusters on the fins, right? And so if you put maneuvering thrusters further out, that usually means that you need less energy to turn, right? Like it's leverage, right? So I think that's
Yeah.
something you could say. You could also make the argument that this is capable of landing, and those could be kind of to help descent control.
atmospheric flight, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I designed the alternate skin for this with the idea that it was like it could go and land on planet surfaces and stuff.
Nice.
Yeah, if you look at the back, you can see like a couple different like big cargo bays that seems like it would be good for like unloading a lot of stuff really quickly. So I kind of saw this as a very logistics focused ship.
Yeah.
That was, instrumental in setting up early human colonies, of doing, logistics support for Earth and Earth Starfleet during that era. And so for a ship like that, you definitely would want something that could theoretically land and unload, big pieces of machinery. But you also want, we're kind of hidden by shadow, but there is a shuttle bay back there too. But you'd want a ship like that to be kind of decently ranged and armed, so it can kind of look after itself. This is like the age of sail, right? Like the Enterprise era ships are really analogous to like old frigates from the late 1700s, and how they're just kind of going over the horizon, and seeing what they can see, living off the land, learning about the universe for the first time, and so those kinds of ships need to be pretty versatile.
There was somebody in chat who, and I'm sorry, it scrolled by too fast, so I lost your name, but they were sympathizing Pundus with how long it took to get this ship in the game. I think, in fact, they said it's been a long road.
Getting from there to here.
Yeah. It's been a long. Okay, we'll get sued.
We'll get get the little bouncy ball on the screen. You
yeah.
know, so we
Start
can sing along.
STO karaoke stream. That'd be great. We could sing that and the lyrics to the original theme, and I think that's it. All right. Well, I'm going to pull up the concept here on the.
I have one
ship.
last thing to
Oh, yeah.
talk about.
Please.
So in all of the references that I got from both the show and from artist portfolios and Eagle Moss magazines, this area, the shuttle hangar bay area, was always obscured in shadow, and there weren't really any good images of it. So this is something that I had to sort of like come up with. And this is basically all entirely based on the NX class's shuttle bay. So all of these details are taken from that.
I really like how
Nice.
it
I
looks
think it
like
works
like a loading dock, just like a loading dock on
Yep.
Earth. Just
I
like,
think it's
Yeah.
perfect.
you can imagine
yeah, well,
someone
I mean,
just
that's perfect. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. Well, here is the concept art for the modern skin of this. Let me know if you folks want me
Well,
to zoom in and stuff like that.
not quite modern.
Not quite modern. Sorry.
Yeah, so this is what we're calling the Interceptor class, which is a Lost Era variant of this ship. And the reason it's Lost Era, I don't know. I'm going to say it now. Maybe someone else wants to say this, but I want to say it. Is that this kit bashes with the Okinawa. So you already have, if you have the Okinawa, you have a TNP skin, a Stow Era skin, and a TOS skin already. So this is like, rather than doing a Stow Era skin for this, we wanted to fill in the gaps, and we pretty much unilaterally decided that Lost Era would be the coolest one to go. So yeah, this is what we have.
On
We
the
call
off
it the
chance there's
Interceptor.
anybody in stream who is in chat who isn't as big of a Star Trek nerd as all of us, what is the Lost Era?
That's a good question. So Lost Era is the time frame that the Enterprise C is from. So it's between end of the motion picture and start of the next generation. So it's kind of a mix of Galaxy class, the Enterprise D, and of the Enterprise A from the motion picture, or I guess more a mix of Enterprise B, the Excelsior.
Nice.
So we, I think I named it. I think I was like, I want this to be called the Interceptor, and I got away with it. Yeah, so we called it the Interceptor pretty much based on vibes. I like that it felt very. It feels like a nice. It fits in with the Ambassador really well. It kind of sets the precedent that like maybe ships of this era were just named really descriptively. My headcanon for this ship is that this is the sort of Starfleet answer to the Daetra class, which was the ship that, you know, in our kind of headcanon destroyed the Enterprise C. And so Starfleet sort of said, well, we need a rapid deployment, fast kind of patrol boat. So kind of pivoting away from Thomas's headcanon that the Enterprise era was a kind of sort of, you know, bit of a multi-mission cruiser. This, I kind of went into the idea of it with that this was much more of like a patrol ship that would maybe, you know, be in service to like an Ambassador class as a mothership, and it would, you know, patrol sections of kind of frontier space that were not immediately necessarily under Federation jurisdiction and stuff like that. This was a pretty fun one. The Intrepid is also my favorite ship of the era, so getting to design a kind of updated skin for it was very cool. When we do ships like this that are kind of very clearly meant to be of they're meant to be derived from another ship, very obviously. Like this is clearly meant to be derived from the Ambassador, from the Enterprise C. One of the challenges is how do we, you know, kind of make something kit bashed without it feeling kit bashed. This is a much smaller ship than the Ambassador, so we couldn't just downscale it. So a lot of my work here was making something that felt really faithful and like, you know, pretty much a sort of tweaked carbon copy, I like to think of it as, and working out how to change all of the aspects of the ship to make it feel, smaller but still very recognizable. It's something E.C. Henry does really well. I looked a
Yes.
lot of his work on the Columbia, which is kind of mini TMP ship for the NX. So I looked a lot of his work for this. Yeah, I think I've run out of stuff to ramble about. If you want to show the model, this was modeled by Tobias Richter.
All right.
If
here we
you
go.
want to show, yeah,
Ta-da!
Woo!
Yeah, it turned out really nice.
God, that's
Yep.
cool.
if you can you show the underside, Pandas?
Yep.
Underside of the saucer. So front of the underside, there's this kind of cutout. I really like the idea that this would be like just a loading ramp. It's not anything high tech. It's literally just that's where they'd land and they'd drop cargo and stuff. Yeah, really kind of the idea of it being a very ship that could kind of do whatever, but could land on planets and stuff like that. Got to have the saucer airlocks as well. I think that's a really big part of the kind of NX era.
Nice.
Scorp, where's
Yeah,
the
one of the interesting
deflector
things
at?
about-
'Cause folks are asking in chat.
What?
Sorry, say that again, Mike.
Where's the deflector at? Because folks are asking in chat.
So I think on the concept that phaser strip on the front, or is that no? That's not a phaser strip anymore, is it? Yeah. So that's what the deflector would be.
Nice.
Yeah.
Hidden deflector.
Nice.
Yeah.
I love it. Sorry, somebody was
Yeah,
saying
and,
something. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, I mean, one of the interesting things about this design is I think it's kind of like half Probert ambassador, half Sternbach ambassador. Like I think you can kind of see the DNA of both those ships and how this turned out, which I think is really cool. It kind of it feels of that era, and it also gives it a bit of its own identity, right? It's not a kit bash, it is its own thing, but it is definitely a little brother, little sister to the ambassador, and I think you could fit it next to either one and it would look good.
As Passionate Soul said in chat, when two ambassador classes love each other very much. All right, well, shall we pop into the Taylor and take a look at some of the variations and things we can do on this?
Some of the goofy.
Yeah,
aspects
so
Yeah.
of this one.
like Scorp, when we knew that we were going to do the NV, Scorp said like we should make a kibash for the Okinawa, and I looked at lengths of the ships and I agreed, and Thomas agreed, and then I had to deal with it. So before we get to the crazy stuff, one of the things that Scott wanted me to do was that we have options for the pylons to have no wings for both the Interceptor and for the NV. You can have them wingless if you prefer.
Why you would
And this
prefer
is
that?
named
that's-
sort of kit bashing.
Yeah. And one of the things that you can also notice is that I have vanity options for both of the NV nacelles if you want to use them with vanity shields, so there's no animated Basad collector.
Nice.
Nice.
That's very fascinating, Pundus. Hit the randomize button. We
Of
all wanna
course.
see it. We all want to see the craziness. Whoa!
Yep.
Oh, that's nice.
Whoa!
That's pretty cool, honestly.
That,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
pretty sweet.
It paid off.
That's a
My
boat.
insane idea paid off.
Yeah.
So one of the things that I loved as a player was getting ships that you could make insane kit bashes with.
Yes.
So that's why I was really keen on doing this. Like some of them look goofy, but
that one's
like
nice.
some of them you can clip stuff together and it looks really cool. So yeah, I was very keen on getting this to kit bash. And if you make something ugly, that's your problem. That's not ours.
Right.
Yeah.
It's not our fault.
That's basically
Yeah.
a Klingon Federation ship right there. Oh, cool.
Yeah, one of the things is that even though like the Okinawa and the NV are about the same length, the NV is a much denser ship in terms of like how thick the hull and the saucer are. So you end up with some pretty ridiculous kit bashes, which I think is awesome.
It's so cute. Oh.
Oh,
I
yeah,
love
the
I love
nacelles
all
are
of these
giant.
variants that we're getting where the nacelles are touching the saucer. There's no way that will go wrong.
But some of them are pretty cool. Like if you
Yeah.
just like pick out different pick out different nacelles to like balance the mass there, you could have a pretty sweet version of it.
Yeah, I'm like actually pretty much liking everything that's come up. So the Busan collectors are inside the bridge. We're going to need to. That's awesome.
That's pretty cool.
All right.
So
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
would need to own the
Yeah.
Okinawa right to access these parts.
Yeah.
I think you
Yep.
set it up that way, right?
Yep.
So
So if you just get the NV, you can have the NV and Interceptor to customize with each other, but you need to own the Okinawa or the Timeless Legacy bundle to get those customization options as well.
right.
I'll have to look into that and see if I have those. Because Lord knows I'm getting this bundle. Cryptic gives me a paycheck.
That's
I
a- that's
immediately
just a
turn it around and
Y-wing.
put it in the game. Yeah. Wait. Yeah, there we go. There's a Y-wing. Oh, it's gonna get blown up, everybody. That's what they do. Very cool. All right.
I won't get tired of this, but let me know when you're done.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'm gonna pull up the vanity shields.
Okay.
And then
Yeah.
you know, I think that's the last thing for today, right? There's nothing
That's-
else that we're showing, is there? That would be crazy if we were showing
well-
something else.
So actually, there is something else that we're gonna show.
What?
So yeah, we are as with every bundle, we are adding in I saw somebody in chat call it a pot sweetener. So this is an account unlock of a lockbox promo or Lobby store ship. So this bundle actually, I will say, has two of those. We're only going to talk about one today, but
you'll
I
find out
want
the next one
people
next week.
to. Yeah, you'll find out the next one next week. But the one that we're going to talk about today is, I think everybody saw this coming. We can't have an Enterprise Era bundle and not give you the T6 NX, right? Like that, we have to do that. We're contractually obligated by me being a Star Trek fan
I was gonna say
to
it's
make
less
sure that if you buy this bundle,
it's less
if you buy
contractually
this bundle,
obligated
you
and more. We don't want to meet those pitchforks.
right. So this will be an account unlock for the T6 NX refit from the Lobby store. But we're not just giving you that ship. We have a new visual variant that's bundle exclusive that we're very excited to share with you. So when we're ready, let's actually pull up the concept art first.
Yep.
That Jamie did.
You got it. I'm almost done with the vanity shields. Now that Pundus is
Thomas,
unlocked-
Jeremy asked something in chat.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to? In
Let me
Oh
see.
yeah, we should show that too. And
Okay,
actually,
I got it
let's
ready.
do it now. Yeah. So
Okay.
and Mike, can you
Yep.
go back over to Pundit's screen? So
Absolutely.
people notice that this is a multi-mission cruiser, which of course means that it needs a hangar pet. And so we made one. This is
Oh, you should have.
Yeah.
You should have led with this is the ship that we're
Yeah.
adding. This is
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
This is the this is
Oh,
the
no, I
variant on the
should've done
Enterprise,
that.
everybody.
But yeah, so the NV multi-mission cruiser will have its own new Enterprise era hangar pet, the shuttle pod. This is not a squadron, I think. It's just the shuttle pod as a hangar pet. But I'm very pleased that we also finally have this in the game too. It's not a flyable shuttle. It is the hangar pet for the ship.
I am imagining
But I
Flight of
think-
the Bumblebees playing every time
Right.
these launch.
Right.
And this was modeled by Tobias Richter for the game.
All right. Well, shall we show them the concept art of that NX class? Do we?
Yes,
Do we
do.
want to show them that? Have they been good enough? No, I'm
Yes,
kidding.
please.
Here it is.
Awesome. So we're calling this the Drexler class in honor of course, Doug Drexler, who design the original NX-01 Enterprise, and yeah, I will go ahead and let Jamie take it away from there.
Yeah, do you want to zoom in on the left one, Mike?
Absolutely.
So we started off not knowing what era we wanted to make this. We kind of tossed a few ideas around. We were thinking, I think the three ideas we were thinking were TOS, Stowe era, or Picard era. So we started off just, doing some very quick exploration on that. And we kind of liked all of them still at the end of the rough stages. We were like, we could kind of go anyway. So what I actually did for this one, if you go to the bottom middle, I did some slightly more detailed 3D blockouts than I would usually do, basically just trying all of them, doing a Picard era, a Stowe era, and a TOS option for all of them. And I think we had quite a lot of back and forth on this. I remember having long conversations with yourself, Thomas, and with Phil D about which of these to do. I think it came down to TOS or Picard, and we were thinking that TOS, as much as it's cool, as much as we really like it, feels a bit too similar to the original NX. Like it's there's not enough.
Well, and the Ranger, right? Like it's very
right.
It's pretty much just the Ranger. When you look at it.
So we kind of wanted to give something a little bit new and different, and in the end we chose to do Picard. Mainly, I think, because Drexler, has most recently done a bunch of work on Picard, and so this was the ship that I designed. It's got a whole bunch of references to Drexler's work and to the work on Picard. I've got a list. Let me read you my list. So,
And you've got a pad for it and everything.
I guess my VTuber does. That's true. That's what she's looking at. She's looking at the list of references. So nacelles, very classic Sagan Connie 3, but also a little bit sort of streamlined. That was my own touch. Kind of gives them a bit of the Excelsior 2 in there as well, just to kind of smooth them down a little bit. The Saucer is very kind of Sagan class. It's very, that's pretty much exactly what I was looking at when I was doing the Saucer. The grill deflector is very Inquiry style. And then it's kind of missing the Ilios, I guess. But I also think the Ilios is a bit more of an outlier in terms of Picard era Federation ships. But I also think that a lot of the kind of greebling around the hull and the kind of overall layout just feels very Ilios to me anyway. So, this was a really fun one to work on. Like, it's, who that likes Star Trek and likes spaceships is not going to jump at the chance to do a kind of successor to an Enterprise. Like, this was awesome to work on. And it's got a little bit of a hint to the Ortiz as well. With that kind of grill on the backside as well. So yeah. Oh, and of course, originally we weren't going to do this with the secondary hull, but I ended up pushing for that quite hard because it turned out to be a really nice way of referencing the Dudestat as well. It's got that little kind of forwards and backwards facing. It's not a deflector on the Dudestat, but it's got the backwards and forwards glowy bits.
Very important to Trek is the backwards and forwards glowy bits.
Exactly. What is it? So it's got a deflector on the Dudestat. I can't speak on the Dudestat, and it's got it's like a sensor array, I think, on the back.
Yep.
Yeah. Thanks, Pundus. Walking encyclopedia of starship knowledge. Yeah. And then also really important to me on this was having the kind of drop bay style launch bays as well, which you've got hidden behind force fields on this. Yeah. Do you want to show it in game?
Yes,
this
I
is
do.
modeled by Tobias Richter, I think. If in doubt, probably Tobias Richter. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so the pod that Jamie mentioned is optional, so we can. I'm pretty sure, right? We built the version.
Yep,
with
it's optional.
Without, so you can, if you don't want it, you can swap it out. That was important to me because I wanted to make sure that there was a version that honored the original configuration of the Enterprise without the pod. The original version, the NX-01. And yeah, so this is kind of meant to be an homage to Doug Drexler. He's an icon in the franchise and the starship design of it. So we really wanted to lean into that Picard style. But the nice thing is that it is adjacent to the Stowe era, and it has access to all the Starfleet materials, including I think Odyssey and the Type 7A. So if you want it to feel more like a contemporary Stowe ship, it'll just swap the materials and the windows on it, and I think it'll fit right in to that era as well. So it kind of felt like doing this gets us kind of two eras for free.
Buy
And
one,
I'm
get
really
one.
pleased with how it turned out. Yeah.
Something else I saw someone mention in chat is that it
Oh, nice.
is reminiscent of the Freedom class, the Franklin. Yeah, that's very intentional. I think it's pretty unlikely that we'll do a 25th century skin for that ship. So if you wanted to fly, something that looks like a 25th century Franklin or Freedom class, then yeah, this is for you as well.
Scorp, thank you so much for saying very unlikely, so that when we do a 25th century version of that ship in 6 years.
Well, I'll never say never. I can't never say never. That's not my job. But
yeah. All right. Well, Pundus, you know what you must do.
Yep.
Ooh.
Pull the lever, Crunk.
Wrong lever. It's funny going from a ship that had so many different shapes to one that has consistent shapes between the two different models, or two or three different models. Because it's like, oh, they all look good, and they all kind of look like the same ship, but slightly different. It's great.
Yeah, and somebody did ask, is this, if you have a Legendary NX, can it use this skin? Yes, if this is on the same skeleton as that ship, so you can mix and match parts or use the Drexler preset with the Legendary NX if you prefer to fly that version of the ship.
Very nice. Very, very cool.
And of course, by default, the Drexler has the Constitution 3 and Sagan style animated warp nacelles with the facades of the thingy with the spinnies inside and the warp grill. And as is the norm now, you can have a vanity option, so you can change the material or change it with a vanity shield.
That's so cool.
And some players on console may have noticed that this applies to the NX as well. So if I go here, there are vanity options for the NX and the NX refit nacelles.
Should probably rename. I don't know why it's called Utopia. I think it was maybe called Utopia because back when they introduced the NX to Stowe, there was a lot of what we call a lot of hand-wringing about it being a 22nd century ship and how does that make sense in Stowe. And so they came up with the idea of, oh, it's a replica, it's using modern technology under the hood, right? Which that totally makes sense. I think even people who restore classic cars, there are some people who just sort of basically restore the body and put like a modern engine in it and modern radio and all that stuff. So I buy that, but I think that's maybe why they called it Utopia.
Yeah, I think so.
Where there was a reference to Utopia Planitia making this sort of replica starship, but it is confusing, and we should probably just fix it.
Yeah,
I think the ship on explaining explaining why all these ships exist in the game at the same time has sailed.
Yeah. Daniels did it.
Yeah, Daniels did it, 100%.
One additional thing for players who own the Legendary NX, the Columbia, is that I also added the also now standard beta and gamma variants of the TMP era nacelles for those who want the glowy grills and the glowy facades.
Beautiful.
And you'll need the Columbia to use those.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. All right. Well, folks, I'm going to give you a quick look at the vanity shields on this. But that is 100% of what we're going to talk about for the bundle today. If you have any questions for these fine gentlemen, remember they are ship artists and one executive producer, so you could ask Thomas any question you want, I guess. But as usual, as if you're never seen me do a stream before, the questions that are phrased blank when will be mocked and then ignored. And remember, if you're asking about stuff that might be coming, or when can we have this item or this thing, or even really when can you fix this bug, they're probably not going to be able to answer that on the stream unless they're really motivated to. And if you have a bug report, it's always better to post that on the official Discord, where way more eyes will get on it from the dev team. So if you got questions, throw away. Markter wants me to tell you guys a joke, and unfortunately, right before this stream started, I got a post from my Dad Jokes Facebook page and inflicted that upon all of these, fine artists and executive producers. So now you guys get it too. Did you hear about the man who invented the knock knock joke? He got the Nobel Prize.
Dun-dun-dun-dun-dun.
And that's imagine if I just signed off after that. It's just like, yeah, you could have to ask
Dream
questions,
over.
and we're done.
Probably that actually got a better
alright.
reaction the second time than it did the first.
No, the first time I think
Yeah.
only Thomas heard it.
I heard it. I just.
Let's see. Oh god, chat going so fast, trying to scroll up to read questions, and they're being torn away from me. Welcome back, karaoke stream. Yes, absolutely. Where should I send my Oberth screenshots now? Straight up your. Wait, I can't say that on stream. Okay, let's see. Okay, so systems questions I'm going to save for next week. So like somebody was asking if a specific type of torpedo is in the bundle. We will cover that next week in the system stuff. So hold on there. Hail Mary class science ship when? Please. I think the answer to this is no, but I'm going to field it to Thomas anyway. A long time ago, we were working on a PlayStation 5 version of Star Trek Online. I think we were working on making it play better on PS5 than actually making like a brand new version. But is that something that's still in the works? Did we release that? I don't remember.
We did not release it. I actually don't know anything about that. So, I have nothing to say about it.
Okay.
So sorry.
Tarafu has a question that we're not going to answer your question, Tarafu, but it is going to lead to me talking about something else, which is they were asking about specific ships coming up. One of the things that I just saw, and it may change before it releases, but I was just shown the player-facing Star Trek Online roadmap we're going to be releasing at some point in the relatively near future. And there was a lot more detail about upcoming ships on that roadmap than I thought there would be, so I'm very excited to share that with you. Emma just wants to pass on thanks for making an Enterprise theme bundle.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're really pleased with how this one came together. The whole team's really proud of it, and I'm really stoked for you guys to see the rest of that quote unquote trailer. It's really cool.
So
Yeah,
good.
and it was a pleasure for us to work on as well. Like Enterprise was the show I grew up with, right? So like it's kind of it's cool and weird that I can come full circle and try and give back a bit of how much enjoyment I got out of that show now doing it professionally. So yeah, it comes from very much the ship designs come from very much a place of love.
You could even say it's been a long road. Anyway, no, those jokes are not gonna end, guys. They're gonna keep going throughout the entire release of this bundle and beyond. Somebody said, are we doing giveaways today? Not today. I'm so sorry. I started work yesterday, and I've been running around setting up my computer to doing this stream. And I just did not have time to get that set up for today. Next week, they will be back 100%. So sorry for the 1 week off from that. Now that I'm back, do you have to give back the gold Ferengi ship? Yes.
No, I say no.
Oh, okay. Well, Thomas can tell me no. Let's see. I guess we could say, without being too specific, you sort of covered this at the beginning of the stream, Thomas, that we're, kind of doing a year of all of the eras of Trek. So do we have more Enterprise era ships in the pipeline then?
I don't. Do we? I know we. I don't think so. We did the Orion Interceptor, right? So these actually weren't the first Enterprise era ships that we did this year. The Orion Enterprise was the first, and we had kind of planned that out. We just didn't tell you guys that's what we're doing yet when we released it. But I think this is it for Enterprise, and now we'll start moving on to some other shows. But Keen, if I'm wrong about that, you can let me know.
You're not wrong.
Okay.
Okay.
I mean, we can announce that we're adding an Enterprise voice actor, which is Porthos the dog. He'll be the star of the next event. I don't know if that dog is even still alive. I hope so. Okay. Questions coming in, flying by. Everyone's just responding to my Porthos joke. I'm so sorry. Looks like nothing's changed. Kale is still Kale. Nothing. Yeah, I will always be me. Let's see. Twite ablation. I'm not entirely sure I understand the question. If you could rephrase, that would be great. I'm so sorry about that. I posted a few. Oh, bless you, Bordicus. Unfortunately, by opening the Discord call, I'm going to lose all of you. But opening the chat, I'm going to mess everything up, I think. Oh no, I'm not. Oh well, I kind of am. Okay, I only messed up Ramon's screen. Oh, no, I messed up everything. Okay, let's look at these real quick. I did announce the bundle release date. I hope I was supposed to do that. Sorry.
I become Pundus.
Trexpert wants to know, will the Surrock material be applicable to the Dakir and T'Pau?
Not right now, but we might add it later.
Okay.
We reserve the right to add it later.
Sounds good. Great, love it. I just got an email and everyone on stream heard it. Holomedicus wants to know, was a Tellarite ship discussed in coming up with this to complete the original 4-member quartet? Or were there just no more Tellarite ships to go on?
I think we have the only canon Tellarite ship, like capital ship in the game.
Yeah.
So yeah, it never came up. I mean, we've gotten a lot of requests to do more Vulcan ships. We've gotten requests for the Kamari. Those were specifically the two that I knew we had to do for this bundle. And then on top of that, I wanted the Intrepid. It was I think we really settled on this pretty quickly, that it was going to be these 4 ships. The only one that we weren't really sure about was the Warp Delta, but I felt like it had a really cool retro silhouette.
Yeah.
And I wanted to fill that in, and I knew that we could make a really cool, like, modern variant of it as well. So that's kind of why we landed. Well, the other thing too, it's not just about. We'll talk more about the stats next week, but it's not just about the aesthetics, but also like we need a small ship that can go fast. We need a science ship. We need an engineering ship, right? So it's balancing all that stuff out too. And the Warp Delta was a great size for our escort in this bundle.
It's interesting because we need a small ship that can go fast is also just my personal design philosophy.
Yeah.
April B. Arding, we don't have any specific announcements about openings, but keep an eye on Arc Games and Cryptic Studios careers page, and if stuff opens up, you can apply there. All right. It looks like all the questions are Prebo. I'll pass that on. It looks like most of the questions coming. Oh, rephrased as requested. Was a choice of 2. Okay. So Twite Ablation wants to know, we're getting 2, lockbox / lobby / promo ships in this bundle instead of the usual 1. Was the choice made to make it to sweeten the pot, so to say, with 2 because the NX is already in Mud's bundle?
Yeah, basically.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
We had to put in the
This
NX
is
legally.
right. Yeah, yeah. We had to, like I said, we had to put the NX in, but we also wanted to make sure that we were giving you guys, when I'm not saying that we'll always make this decision, right? But for this bundle, it was the right decision where we had an alternative for a second one. We also had some precedent where we did the same sort of thing back with I think it was the Terran bundle, where we did the Crossfield, and then which was a really strong thematic choice, but people, that wasn't like for other reasons there, some people weren't really swayed by that, so we put in the the sticks
Yeah.
as well. So it's that's kind of the precedent that I was going on, where the NX had to be there, but since it was already in Mud's bundle, we found another ship that hadn't been released that way, to make sure that people who already got the NX in the Mud's bundle were still getting something cool and new for this one.
Trexpert wants to know, were there any discussions about an Emmett Ganges visual variant with the chemical thrusters, or is that too throwback?
I think that we didn't really talk about. I mean, I don't think we really had the bandwidth to do that. It would have been pretty throwbacky. It's also the front of that is not finished. Like if you actually go look at it, like the back looks really cool, but the front is very, very rough. So yeah.
Yeah. Galactic Gaming, we showed that off earlier. Sorry that you missed it, but yes, the Ortiz does have the animated Sovereign Bussard collectors.
No, it doesn't actually.
Oh no, it doesn't.
has
Oh,
the-
sorry, my bad.
Yeah, it doesn't.
But maybe we can add it later.
Yeah.
Something to think about.
Kebabs wants to know how long the process of this bundle took from concept to release. So basically, when did you first start talking about this compared to until next week, I guess?
Yeah, I think it was September, October, that kind of time frame. Where
Sounds
we
about
started
right.
talking about like what we're gonna make, and then starting designing the different variants and stuff. Yeah, we have a lot of lead time on these.
I finished the last concept for it, which was the Drexler. I finished that pretty much just before we went on Christmas break. So yeah, that sounds about right.
I mean, and for perspective, I'll just say we'll have another. Obviously, we'll have another C-Store bundle later in the year, kind of Q3 timeframe, and that we're starting work on that right now. So I won't say anything about what it is. Although you guys actually, roughly in very broad strokes, we do announce what it is. We will announce what it is on the roadmap coming up. So you'll know the theme then, but we're just starting on that, and that will be released in a later part of this year. So it's I'd say that's about a 5-month lead time on that one.
Okay. All right. Well, folks, I absolutely love getting to chat with all of you in chat and throw questions at these folks, but they've also got to do a lunch break and get back to work, as do I. Wow, I have a job. That's wild. Somebody is going to use that on Reddit. Oh God, why did I say that? Okay, anyway, so thank you to all four of you for being here and for chatting with us about ships today. It was really great to get to talk to all of you, and I really appreciate getting to spend time with you. Thanks for being here.
Yeah, thanks for coming back. It's great to have you back, man.
My pleasure.
Love being here.
Yeah, about spaceships.
Pleasure.
All right.
Thank you.
And everybody on in chat, I'm real glad to be back. I'll see you on the Discord in just a few minutes. All right. Bye-bye, everyone. Bye-bye. Bye-bye now. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Bye, chat.
Bye-bye.
I don't make those, because I'm done.
Oh,
It was
gotta
just
do
a
another of
waste
those. Like 2 hours.
So,
Oh.
that's great.
Yeah, I think we're doing not a stream. We're doing an interview with Endeavor.
Yeah.
Nice.
I don't think it's a stream.
No, it's not.
It's
But,
it's an
gotta be
interview.
in Yap headspace still.
Mhm.
It's fine. If anything goes wrong,
So-
he can edit it at least this time.